You guys, happy January 1st, to say the least. I'm really happy to be in 2025. I'm hoping and praying and knowing, okay, and believing that 2025 is going to be way better than 2024. And I say that though, at the same time, is that as I have made it outside of this time and that season of 2024, it wasn't like the worst thing that's happened, but it definitely shook some shit up, to say the least, or shook some things up, to say the least. And it definitely gave me a way bigger understanding of a lot of different things about myself. One of them being probably the biggest is my femininity. I have been struggling with my femininity the past few years. And I say struggling as in I want to and have wanted to show up a lot more feminine than what I have been. And I've realized a few things for me. And I will say this, and this is just for me, what femininity looks like for me. I realized that there's a difference between being dominant and assertive. And I realized like I'm okay with being assertive. I don't necessarily want to show up dominant, and I very much so, it's very easy for me to show up in a dominant state, especially dealing with like my career, especially the career that I'm getting out of, been getting out of, or out of at the same time. But with my dominance, I feel like it shows up as masculinity. And for me, and this is not for everybody, dominance and masculinity to me kind of go hand in hand. It's not that it's not authentic to me, because it's definitely coming off at ease. I just realized I don't want to stay in that place. And I realize when I am in that place, it's because I'm not being heard. When I have to show up in a level of place of being dominant, I'm not being heard, I'm not being seen, and I'm not being taken serious. And it comes up for a multitude of different reasons. And what I realize is what it boils down to is boundaries. When my dominance is showing up, at that point, I'm realizing that someone is crossing a boundary and I'm helping them get back over. And my assertiveness isn't working because some people think like, it's kind of like it's cute. It's like, oh, and it's like, no, for real, like, I really need you to chill the fuck out, because if I click out, I would be wrong. And I realized that I don't even want to speak like that. I realized that I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I really don't want to cuss. Once again, this is for myself, but I feel like for me with femininity is not cussing all the time. Femininity is being able to speak and to communicate to a person or about a thing or a situation or a story or so forth, whatever it is, and to be able to use one, not have a lot of slang, to speak in the way that I know is the correct way in speaking for the most part, and just for sure not cussing all at the same time. I am trying to watch even when I'm texting, how I'm texting people in the way that we speak, how I'm texting someone in the words that I choose to place in the sentences, so forth, like my energy and so forth. And if I don't have the right energy, I just don't show up. And I've been like that. Like if I don't have the right energy, I don't show up, meaning I won't answer the phone call. I'm not going to sit on the phone with you. I'm probably not going to text back. Things like that. But I've been also learning to tell people that at the same time, and telling people where I'm at. I've been telling people where I'm at for a few different reasons. I've been telling people where I'm at so they have a better understanding of who I am as a person and why I show up the way that I do, so that I don't leave it up to imagination and assumption, because people can run with the story that just doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in their brain for whatever their trauma is, whatever they're used to, so forth, like of thinking like, oh, I'm the problem, this person is rejecting me, so forth like that. And that's really not the case. I'm not rejecting you. I'm just taking time for myself. It may look like rejection, and I can't say that I'm okay with it, but I have to allow myself to be in this place to be authentic and honest with myself, instead of just being on the phone for the sake of making the other person feel comfortable and be happy to be around me or be in my presence, and me being miserable. I don't think that that is right. And I also don't think that it's fair to the other person to just show up so like that. Even if you can fake the funk, which I'm really good at, as far as like if I have to like put on and like switch my energy, I'm good at doing that. But I feel like it's like but why do I have to when it comes up to or comes into these groups of people that I like surround myself with as a whole. The other thing I have for sure in 2024, my dominance also comes from, and my masculinity has been coming from not being in alignment with the right people. I have realized when it comes to women with me, if I am showing up in a very dominant way or kind of like masculine energy type of vibe, it's also made me realize the person that I'm talking to, of like just the way it is. I've also, this is actually more so for one particular person for me. I realize that sometimes it seems like I'm actually in a relationship with some women in my life, like an actual like a romantic relationship, and I'm the man and they're the woman, of how I talk to them and how to listen to them and take care of them and so forth like that. And I'm not looking for that. It's not what I'm into. It's not like my jam. And it's not authentic to who I am and who I'm trying to show up to be in the seasons that I've been in. And that comes from me having to place a dominance for them to understand something. I'm not looking to necessarily always be the person to call to give someone advice and to be their truth person, their truth sayer, basically. Because sometimes people are like, Shrina, like, I know you won't lie to me. Can you tell me the truth? I'm not looking to be that person for everybody anymore. I know that there are going to be people in times and people in seasons that I feel like my spirit team, God, Santa, and so forth are going to have me around to help guide them. But I feel like there is a difference in knowing exactly who they are. Also in 2024, I lost a lot of people that I called friends. And within that, I was told that, Shrina, you went out and you looked to make friends. And this is what happens when you look to make friends, especially in the type of environments you were in. They're not in alignment with who you are, who you're trying to be, and they're also not good for you. They're playing in your face, they're drama, so forth. And another big thing for me is a really big age gap. If there's a ginormous age gap on the opposite side, meaning that they are a lot younger than me, it doesn't necessarily work. And this also goes if you are on the opposite end spectrum, meaning you are a lot older than me. However, you have a childlike mind. I know where I am, how old I actually am, and I also know how old my like spirit is as far as like maturity and like my thought process and so forth. And I have had to learn over time that just because you are a certain physical age does not mean you are actually that age emotionally, mentally, spiritually, so forth. And I'm looking and needing to have people who are in the same realm and like balanced, so to speak. And it has been a challenge, but with that challenge, I've definitely lost a lot of people to show me like what it is. I've definitely lost people to me who, jealous of me isn't the right word, but wanted to like have something that I have, or just different things that I didn't realize. I just didn't realize was necessarily a thing. I've had people, I guess to say, in my camp who've liked the same person that I've liked and have lied about it or not told me the truth about it. Just a multitude of different things. And it's definitely put in perspective for myself of not taking on any projects. Like, I have to accept, respect, and live in reality of the simple fact is that people are where they're at because the people are where they're at. People are where they're at because they have made choices. And I don't mean like someone's, they had a rough life and they can't figure out how to really get out. I mean, like, although that is a thing, it's more of people know to do better and they're stay in those same stagnant places. But they have all the tools, they have all the resources to get out. And they can better themselves, but they choose not to. I have had to accept the fact and understand that I've had people around me who are monitoring spirits. I've had to learn the fact of how powerful people's words are on me as far as trying to call me to something that is not me. I am very thankful that I'm one of those people where I'm like, nope, that's not going to happen. Not going to do that. I don't receive it, so forth like that. But I did put my guard down with a few people, and more so one person more than anything. And I didn't realize that. And so I've had to do a lot of work of taking their words off of me and them not calling me to something that I know is not mine and doesn't like align with what I'm trying to do. And I mean calling, and this doesn't happen. I've learned people can call you to go live in places and live in cities that don't belong to you, try and have you be with people that are not for you, so forth like that. And I've definitely learned those different things, and definitely trying to just like align myself more with the right people to make sure that I can hear the things that I need to hear, and see the things that I need to see first time around. I also within my femininity, or trying to learn within my femininity, and I will say this, I've been doing this more spiritual than anything, is like La Virgen has been definitely guiding me on what femininity will look like for me, and how to get there based off of what I want to be like. And it's like different things from like pajamas and hairstyles and outfits and all those different things, and being okay and being comfortable in that, no matter what it looks like to other people. It's about the energy that you feel and the happiness that it brings to you, and all those different things. So it's definitely it's been a challenge. Sorry you guys, my eyes hurt. I think it was light so bright. And I woke up a couple hours ago. It's been a challenge on being comfortable of myself, no matter what people think. Or it's not necessarily what people think, because I don't necessarily know in these particular things, but being okay and being honest with myself no matter what. Like if I'm honest with myself, transparent with myself, or I dressed or moved as if no one was looking and no one was watching, and it was just me, how would I show up in a room? And I say show up in a room, and not as far as energy, although that is a thing, but showing up as far as my look, and being okay with being more vulnerable in conversations with people and so forth like that. Now, I also am knowing at the same time that I need to be vulnerable around the people that I feel safe with. I also I would like not to be around people that I don't feel safe with at all. But there's a place of just kind of like putting myself out there with people at the same time and trying. And I more so mean in like a romantic way more than anything. And it's okay. Like I definitely am learning to try and feel a little bit more comfortable with it, but at the same time it's a little bit harder for me, to say the least. For sure. I think for me, I am one of those people. One, I like staying in the house, but two, it's just kind of like, how do I say it? I'm like, if let me say this, I'm used to dealing and dating certain type of men, and older men to a certain extent, that just kind of treat and be a certain type of way towards me. And so I'm used to a man like, hey, you want to go out to eat, so forth like that. But I feel like there's a point where as a woman, for myself, I still have to kind of put myself out there, because I have to show up a little bit more feminine. And what I mean by that is, I have to be okay with showing up feminine and showing up a way of saying if I needed help or so forth like that, that I could say like, hey, are you able to help me with something's going on in my car, or something like this, things like that. And kind of having a way softer approach in life. Also removing some of the words like my dog, what's up, G, things like that, because that's how I'm used to speaking. In the way of me trying to like date, when I decide to like truly date and stuff like that, I know that that's not necessarily what a man is looking for. I've just gotten so comfortable talking like that. Even more, I've been in a relationship for, about the past 5 years. I've almost been single for a year. So trying to relearn how to talk to men is a little bit different for me. And what I mean by that is, because I was in a relationship for so long, I automatically friend zone every gentleman that I ever met or come around, because there's really nothing that another man can do for me that my significant other couldn't do for me at the time. And I just felt like out of respect. So now that we're not like that, trying to show up in ways, and then even more, I have to, realize that cultures are different. And so where my significant other was from, and how he moved and so forth was a little bit different. And I feel like now with me being, I've been in Texas this whole time, but me being in Texas and kind of being around more Texas type or country type gentlemen, Southern type gentlemen, it's a little bit different. So definitely trying to and learning how to show up that way is a little real and raw. So yeah, you guys, I'm trying to kind of figure out the colors that look better on my skin and that make me feel more feminine. I am learning about like the type of jewelry, the way I would like my nails to be, even the length of my nails. I've gotten my perfume down. That's always been my jam. And with my past career, I feel like, well, I've had two. My first one, it was very more so dressed up, wearing dresses, skirts, heels, things like that more so. And then this last one has definitely been like very comfortable, very lax. If I wanted to wear sweatpants, could and you should. I don't really wear dresses, things like that. So it's been a challenge. And so now that I'm trying to get out of that side, and I've been kind of comfortable in the past 4 years, trying to transition, trying to transition into something completely different of where I used to be, but like a balance in between. But also trying to show up a lot more girly and feminine than I used to. And I say dainty, but I'm not a dainty girl by any means, but like daintier in comparison to what I was and how I showed up before, to say the least. Even more, I'm also trying not to show up like managerial. Like, I know that there are probably plenty of women out here in this world that have been able to definitely separate between work and their relationships with work and romance, as far as like how they show up. Like, they don't show up that way when they're home, which I feel like I've been able to do for the longest. But now I realize that even with me being in my singleness, I just am. This is just how I am, and trying to do different things with my own business and so forth. I've been showing up in a way, and now I'm like, I want to make sure that there is no residual anything of me showing up in a relationship of running it like a business, or me showing up in a relationship and talking to my significant other as if they are someone who works for me or under me or so anything like that. And to be able to speak to the person that I like in a very softer, feminine way, to say the least, and to be comfortable with it, but also making sure that I meet someone that I am able to feel comfortable with to have to speak like that at the same time. So we're just out here, we're out here learning. We've definitely been doing a lot of therapy, and even within my therapy, understanding my top 3 values that I would like in a person. And when I say in a person, this is including friendships, partnerships, romantic relationship, all the above and everything in between, and being okay if I may have planned something in my head or built something in my head that may not work out. And if, spirit, God, La Santa, Santos, ancestors, spirit guides, whomever says something to me, that I don't try and force it to make it happen. I just align myself within who I am, so the things come to me in the way that they do. And when they show me things, I have the faith and trust and belief that it will happen on its own timing. And like, I'm okay to just like sit. And I don't mean like sit and do nothing. I mean sit and spiritually wait for the things that belong to me, instead of like trying to like force the doors open. Trying to be still and hearing what they're telling me and to move accordingly all at the same time in the right way, and to make sure that I'm ready to receive what belongs to me. I don't want to do all this work to get to what belongs to me, but I'm not ready to receive what's mine, because I'm just like, I have to have it right now. And it's like, no, it will come to me because it belongs to me. Now, I do have to do like the spiritual hygiene and doing the things that I'm supposed to do to make sure that they flow to me, like on that aspects of like praying and so forth like that. But I'm not out here just like I said, like forcing things open. But I'm also not like, how do I say this? Does this make sense? Here we go. I want to flow to the things that belong to me. I'm not trying to fight for the stuff that belongs to me, and I'm not trying to survive in the place of things belonging to me. And what I mean is, I'm not trying to have the struggle story. I feel like I've had the struggle story, and it's been I can't even say it's been cool. It's been ghetto. I've definitely hasn't been the greatest experience of all, because I feel like as me being me in this world, in this society, people who look like me, we're always fighting and we're surviving and all this stuff. And I don't even want, like, I'm just living my life. I don't even want to do this. I just want to flow. I want to flow to any and all things that belong to me in the greatest way possible. I want to know that I've done the prayers, I've lit the candles, I've done the things that I've needed to do, and I'm obedient to the things that I know I need to be obedient to, the voices that I'm obedient to. I mean, I do know like the spiritual fights and so forth like that. I get that. But I just want to flow. When I speak, I want to speak in a way of flowing. I don't want to speak in a way of surviving. I don't want to speak in a way of fighting anymore, because that's what's gotten me to this point of my masculinity and the dominance that I have. I think it's okay to be assertive when need be. I think it's okay at times. Well, maybe I might have to show up dominant if I'm in a business meeting or something from time to time, but I don't have to like live there. Because sometimes I can live in my dominance, and I don't want to. I can't flow in my dominance the way that I've been. No. I'm trying to flow in the most authentic way to myself. And authentic way to myself is meeting people, telling stories, getting to know their story, so forth like that, flowing into the abundance and the blessings that belong to me, and being okay with it. I don't want to live any part of my life that the way that people want me to live my life. And I've heard a lot of different things where it's like, oh, you should do this and oh, you should do that. I could, but like, is that really me living in my true authentic purpose in life, or flowing to my true self of all the things that belong to me by me doing this? Like, it's not that I can't be successful in this. It's not that I won't be successful in this, but like, is this really for me in the way that these other things are for me? Like, if that makes sense what I'm saying. So that's where we've been at. That's where we are. And that's going to be our focus for 2025, to say the least. Literally, to say the least. I've sat down for so long. I think I've been off for almost 5 months. I've been sitting, I've been doing therapy, a lot of therapy, a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work. And it has been one of the hardest, gut-wrenching things that I've ever done in my life. But some of the most beautiful work on the other side of it that I couldn't even imagine, and then some, which is helping me also live more authentic. It's helping me live more flow to the abundance. It's helping me become more come in alignment with everything for me. It's helping me see spiritually clearer than I ever have. It's helping me have more appreciation and gratitude and understanding things spiritually. It's also afforded me the opportunity to really sit with myself and the people that I have around me, and seeing if they're aligning with what I have going on. And it's also helping me feel way more comfortable being in the house. I don't feel the need to talk to people. I don't feel the need to be around people. I just want to like put my head down and do my work. And I say put my head down and do my work, meaning no distractions. Not put my head down like I don't like, oh my God, it's like, because I'm not, definitely not that girl. But it's just more so like we're going to zone in, focus in on the things that we're going to focus in on, and do what we got to do and dip out. I don't have to stay around here in these places. I don't have to be that person to everybody and so forth, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's where we've been at, to say the least. And I'm truly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm really thankful for these opportunities, because it's making and has made a huge difference in my life. And I know there's so many more differences that are here to come. Just learning to be I'm learning to be more patient and not trying to rush to the next thing, because you just never know what's around the corner that by your patience that you're going to miss. Like, if I'm trying to rush to get to this light and get to this destination, meanwhile there's somebody else trying to do the same thing, or they're not paying attention, I could get in a car crash or get in whatever. And I think about that when it comes to life. There's a moment, and there's a certain type of momentum that I need to have, and then there's going to be a time where I'm going to have to like really speed up my momentum based off of the places I am, and then know how to continue to interchange and not continue to rush. But like, I know when there is an urgency to do something, and knowing when there's not, where it's like, it's okay, you're fine, like, just I should continue on to keep doing the same speed limit and get to the destination and go to the places. And in the way I keep telling you to turn left and turn right and to go straight, you're being guided without even knowing, and you're gonna get there the way you're supposed to get there, truly. So that's where we're at, y'all.